From Grady's Field in beautiful Xenia, Ohio, it is game number 11 as your Xenia Scouts look to go over 500 for the first time on the year against their division rivals here, the Licking County Settlers. Andrew Alix here, and we're happy to have you aboard. The Scouts defeated the Settlers last night by a score of 8-1 in what was a pretty close game early, but big 5 spot in the bottom of the 8th inning really opened up the ball game for the Scouts as they took that one home. The Scouts were driven by a wonderful starting pitching performance by Caleb Fernholz. Caleb yesterday, he went 7 innings, allowed 7 hits, just 1 earned run in a starting pitching performance that really drove the Scouts. But the Scouts looking to duplicate that success tonight, and the man on the mound to try to do so is going to be Nick Cecil. Nick Cecil from Sinclair Community College, just around the corner here in southwestern Ohio, and looks like we're about to get things started. In the field for the Scouts, Caleb Bloy at first, Kerry Holloway at second, Aaron Balance at short, Chandler Atkins at third. From left to right, it's going to be Sean Kennedy, Ryan O'Hearn, Jeremy Barth. The catcher is going to be Donald Ring. The first pitch of the ball game here from Nick Cecil is popped up on the infield. The second baseman Holloway coming under it makes the grab, out number 1. So 1 up, 1 down, and for those of you looking for the information there, that was actually Tanner Burns. But now Hunter Nance to the plate. Nance yesterday, he was 1 for 4. Comes into the game batting at a .268 mark with a double, a triple, and 3 RBIs. First pitch, missing on the outside, ball 1. The 1-0. And that one, breaking ball missing on the outside yet again. So falling behind in this count, Nick Cecil. Nance, the center fielder for the Settlers. And a broken bat right up the middle, the shortstop. Valance picks it up, throws over to first. In time, out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down here for Mr. Cecil. And now it's going to be the 3-hitter, Robert Emery. Emery, he was your catcher last night. Hails from Dartmouth University. Probably the most successful day at the plate for any of the Settlers last night. He went 2 for 3 or 2 for 4, also reaching on an error. Emery comes into the ball game batting .237. Couple of doubles, a couple of home runs, and 4 RBIs. Emery bats from the right side. Cecil, first pitch. And Emery goes right after that one, a base hit down the left field. For going to second is Robert Emery. The throw to second will be not in time, sliding into double as Robert Emery, the first hit of the day for the Licking County Settlers, has a runner in scoring position here for them with 2 outs in the top of the first inning. So now it's a man on second and 2 down here at the top of the first. Still scoreless between the Scouts and the Settlers. The numbers on Nick Cecil for the year. Cecil with an 8.1 ERA over 3 1/3 innings pitched. All of those came against the Hamilton Joes. In the first of that 2-game set they played, that was, I guess, last Sunday. First pitch from Cecil. And that one comes way inside on the left-handed hitting Kyle Hubbock. Hubbock, the first baseman from the University of Northern Alabama. On the year, he's batting .341 with 3 doubles, a home run, and 11 RBIs. That's a team-leading 11 RBIs. The 1-0. Cecil attacks the zone there, evens the count up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Emery takes a big lead at second. The 1-1 pitch taken low and away, moves the count to 2-1. Kyle Hubbock yesterday, he was 0 for 4. 3 groundouts and a strikeout, including a big grounding out into a double play in the top of the 8th inning to really limit that threat for this Licking County Ball Club. 2-1 pitch. And that one missing way outside, gets past the catcher ring. Mark that down as a wild pitch. And advancing over to the third is Robert Emery. So a man on third with 2 outs in a very early RBI situation here. On a 3-1 count. And a man at third with 2 down. Top of the first. The Scouts come into the game with a record in 5-5. The Settlers at 3-8. Here's the 3-1 pitch. And that one low and in, ball 4. So trotting on over to first with the first walk of the game is Kyle Hubbock. And now it's runners at first and third and 2 down. The batter's going to be Luke Phillips. Luke Phillips from the University of Western Alabama. He's the second baseman tonight. Comes into the game batting .233 with 3 home runs. Phillips yesterday, 1 for 4. First pitch. And Cecil just missing low there. Top of the first, 2 down. Runners at first and third. The 1-0 pitch. And that one just missing yet again. So Cecil falling behind in this count 2-0. After quickly retiring the first 2 batters, having a little bit more trouble. Breaking ball finds the outside part of the zone. A called strike 1 moves the count to 2 balls, 1 strike here. Two-one. Big breaking ball misses on the outside. So another 3-1 count here that Nick Cecil has fallen behind into. And if you're Luke Phillips, this might be your pitch to hit. 3-1. And that one missing on the outside yet again, ball 4. So the base is loaded with 2 down here in the top of the first. And Don Ring is going to come out and have a word with his pitcher, Nick Cecil. And coming in is Chandler Atkins from third as well. The Scouts looking to stay hot this evening. Of course, they'll be playing without their shortstop, John Sharp. John Sharp suffered a concussion in last night's game. But on the bright side, he'll be in the broadcast booth probably around the 3rd inning. So Joe McGuire to the plate. Joe from Jacksonville State University. First pitch. And Cecil attacks the zone there, a called strike 1. Nothing in 1 the count. Cecil goes down to, looks like he's tying his shoe. The base is loaded. 2 outs here in the top of the first. Nothing and 1 the count against Joe McGuire. Joe batting .273 on the season. And he rips that one down the first base line, but a diving Caleb Loy in front of it. He takes it himself, steps on the bag, out number 3. So a very athletic play over at first by Caleb Loy. Saves it, what would have been an RBI single. And the Scouts get out of the top of the first inning unscathed. So no runs on 1 hit and 3 men left to bottom of the first. Still scoreless between the Scouts and the Licking County Settlers. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You are listening to the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. And we head into the bottom of the first inning. Ryan O'Hearn to lead things off for the Scouts, and he shows bunt, fouls that right back into the box, and call it strike one. The pitcher for the Licking County Settlers this evening is going to be Cody Maw. Cody Maw hails from Summerville, South Carolina, heading into his sophomore year at Division I Charleston Southern. Breaking ball from Maw finds the zone, a called strike two. So falling behind in this count, 0-2 is Ryan O'Hearn. O'Hearn on the year, 278. And he rips that one into right field, a base hit. So Ryan O'Hearn leads things off here for the Scouts, and a man on and nobody out. And Ryan O'Hearn, who came in the fifth inning yesterday in a very big spot with men on as a pinch hitter, ended up getting an RBI single, and he stays hot. A trend that has really started with that home run power he showed the other day at Grand Lake. But now Sean Kennedy to the plate, and Sean Kennedy attacks the first pitch and right back to the second baseman, who steps on second and throws over to first. A 6 unassisted throw over to third, double play, but Sean Kennedy is down over at first base and does not look good. So they're going to call for trainer, and while they call for trainer, we're going to go to commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You are listening to the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Welcome back, folks. Andrew Alix here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. It's the bottom of the first with 2 down, and the batter is going to be Jeremy Barth. Barth on the year, 308 with 6 doubles. Welcome back, folks. Andrew Alix here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. It's the bottom of the first with 2 down, and the batter is going to be... And the first pitch to Barth. That one's taken a low and in, and actually that was the second pitch to Barth, so count evens up, 1 ball, 1 strike here. Barth, like I mentioned, from Biola University. The 2-1 pitch, and Jeremy fouls that one back. Moves the count to 2-1. Maw. He delivers. And big breaking ball fouled down the third base line yet again by Jeremy Barth. So staying at an even 2-2 count. With 2 down in the bottom of the first. Still scoreless between the Scouts and the Licking County Settlers. Maw, the 2-2 pitch. And that one's taken low, ball 3. So the count goes full on Jeremy Barth. Barth yesterday, 1 for 4 with a double. And the 3-2 pitch fouled softly back to the pitcher Maw, who charges it, picks it up, throws over to first in time. Out number 3. So no runs on 1 hit and nobody left aboard. And we have played 1. Still scoreless between the Scouts and the Licking County Settlers. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You are listening to the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We head into the second inning. Still scoreless between the Scouts and the Settlers. Nick Cecil back out to the mound, and the batter is going to be Nick Vague for the Settlers. First pitch to Vague, taken on the outside. Check that. Jason Moore to the plate. We had a little bit of a public address error there, throwing me off. Just a tad. Moore from Flagler College. He attacks that one. That's drilled into right field. Chasing back is the right fielder Barth. He's under it, makes the grab for out number 1. So 1 up, 1 down in the top half of the second, and mark that down as an F9 in your books. So the batter is going to be Nick Vague. Nick Vague, the right fielder this evening from the University of Memphis. Didn't get much playing time, if any at all, with the Tigers this year. Vague on the year in the Great Lakes. 265, 3 doubles, 5 RBIs. First pitch to Vague finds the zone, a called strike 1. Vague yesterday, 1 for 3. He singled in the third. Fly out and a ground out on top of that. And Vague attacks the 1 pitch, an infield pop-up. The shortstop, Aaron Valance, under it. He's going to make the grab. Out number 2. So 2 quick outs for Nick Cecil, just like there was in the first. And we'll see if he can get this third out with more ease than it took in the first inning, where he ended up loading the bases. So the 9-hitter, Mike Flax to the plate. Flax from LaSalle University in Philadelphia. Flax on the year, 111 with 1 RBI. First pitch to Mike, and that's taken on the inside. 1-0 the count. Flax yesterday, 0 for 1. He had a couple of sacrifices, actually got an RBI, the only RBI of the game for the Settlers yesterday. But Cecil on the 1-0 finds the zone. A called strike. The 1-1 pitch. And that one missing on the outside. Moves the count to 2-1. A beautiful evening in Xenia, Ohio. 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball misses low. So 3 balls, 1 strike the count here. Top of the second inning with 2 down. Still scoreless between the Settlers and the Scouts. The 3-1 pitch. And that one's on the outside, ball 4. So the third walk on the day issued by Nick Cecil. And now it's going to be a man on and 2 outs. And back to the top of the order with Tanner Burns. Tanner Burns from Calhoun College. Calhoun Community College, that's in Alabama. Burns on the year, batting .245 with 3 doubles. He was 1 for 4 last night. His first at bat flew out to right field. First pitch to Burns, And that went in on the inside. 1-0 the count. So in his last start had a problem with high pitch count through 2 innings against the Hamilton Jones. He hadn't thrown more than 50 pitches. But pickoff attempt over to first. Trying to keep the runner Mike Flax honest. Here's the 1-0. And that one's a chopper to the shortstop, Aaron Valance, who takes it, throws it to first in time. Out number 3, so no runs on no hits, and 1 man left aboard. And after 2, the Scouts in the middle of 2, the Scouts and the Licking County Settlers still scoreless. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You are listening to the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. So back out to the mound is Ma, and first pitch to the batter Colt Wolf in there for a called strike. Ma's statistics on the year, 0.69 ERA through 13 innings pitched, and he gets Wolf to swing and miss at that one. So falling behind 0-2 in the count is Colt Wolf. Wolf on the year, a .310 average, 4 doubles and 5 RBIs. The 0-2 pitch taken on the outside. Moves the count to 1-2. Bottom of the second inning. Still scoreless between the Scouts and the Settlers. The 1-2. And Colt Wolf lifts that one into deep center field. Going back to center fielder Nance. He's at the track and catches it at the track. So a pretty deep fly ball for Colt Wolf, but not deep enough. Marked as an F8, out number 1, and now it's going to be Chandler Atkins to the plate. And talk about Chandler Atkins as a guy who certainly had a day yesterday, and here's the story behind it. In his first at-bat in the second inning, Atkins fouls a ball hard off his ankle, puts him to the ground, ends up going down looking. After that, single, double, triple. You got to think, one at-bat, maybe he had a chance at the cycle, but the first pitch to Atkins fouled back. Chandler on the year, 286. 3 doubles, 1 triple, 1 home run to his name. He takes on the outside, evens up the count. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out here. In the bottom half of the second, the 1-1 pitch, and Chandler rips that one into center field. Chasing it is the center fielder, Nance. Under it, makes the grab. Out number 2, so a couple of flyouts to center field to start things off here in the bottom half of the second. Now it's going to be the catcher, Don Ring, to the plate. Ring, of course, from Hillsdale College. The Hillsdale Charger, one of many a Hillsdale Charger to come through to this Xenia Scouts program, including obviously his current teammates, Ryan O'Hearn and Will Cruz. First pitch to Ring, and that's fouled down the left field line out of play. But also Luke Ortell. Luke Ortell, a one-time Xenia Scout. This year, the first All-American in the history of the Hillsdale program. And Ring calls time there. 0-1 the count here in the bottom of the second. 2 down, still scoreless between the Scouts and the Settlers. Ma, the 0-1 pitch, breaking ball, and Ring, bouncer foul. So he falls behind in this count, 0-2. The Scouts with just 1 hit on the day. That was a leadoff single from Ryan O'Hearn. Another Hillsdale guy, obviously. The 0-2 to ring. And that's taken way on the outside, bounces in the dirt and gets past the glove of the catcher Moore. This is the exact same lineup for the Licking County Settlers as yesterday, except for switch the catcher Moore and the left fielder Emery. 1-2. Swing and a miss at a ball in the dirt. Strike 3. So the first strikeout of the day issued by Ma, and that is out number 3. So no runs on no hits and nobody left aboard, and we have played 2 innings of baseball. Still scoreless between the Scouts and the Licking County Settlers. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You are listening to the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. And we head into the third, and a quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard. The Irish Hills Leprechauns defeating the Grand Lake Mariners in a day game this morning, and otherwise the Steam and the Hamilton Joes, top of the second, locked up at 2. The Lorraine County Ironmen and the Lake Erie Monarchs scoreless in the bottom of the second. Bottom of the second, the South Ohio Copperheads lead the Richmond Jazz by a score of 1-0. Otherwise, there is our game. And at 7:35, the Galleon Graders will take on the Lima Locos. But now, Nick Cecil out for his third inning of work, and Hunter Nance to the plate. Nance, his first time up, grounded out to short. First pitch, breaking ball in there for a called strike. Cecil threw 2 innings, 2 scoreless frames. He has walked 3, allowing 1 hit. But swing and a miss there. So Cecil ahead in this count. No balls, 2 strikes. Top of the third inning. Scoreless between the Settlers and the Xenia Scouts. The 0-2 pitch and swung on a miss, strike 3. The first strikeout of the day issued by Hunter Nance. Issued by Nick Cecil. The victim is Hunter Nance. And 1 down here. That's going to bring up Robert Emery. Robert Emery, the left fielder this evening, like I mentioned before. He played catcher last night. Part of this kind of depleted position player group for the Licking County team. Emery from Dartmouth University. And he lifts that one a shot, but it's going to hook foul down the left field side. So a sigh of relief there for Nick Cecil. I like it talking about Emery, who hit a double his first time up. He also has home run power. He has 2 bombs on the year. Breaking ball from Cecil up and away. Evens up the count. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out here in the top of the third. Still scoreless. The 1-1 from Cecil. Breaking ball finds the zone. A very beautiful curveball there from the righty Cecil, and he's ahead in the count 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. And that one's grounded hard to the third baseman, Chandler Atkins, who throws over to first. In time, out number 2. A 5-3 ground out sends down Robert Emery, and now with 2 down, it's going to be Kyle Hubbock to the plate. Hubbock from the University of Northern Alabama. Part of, this group of Licking County settlers that's very southern-based. First pitch to Kyle. And that one is ripped down the right field line, but that's going to hook foul. That left the ballpark, but once again, foul. Hubbock at Northern Alabama this year, .322, 11 doubles, 12 homers, 43 RBIs. He struck out 49 times in 174 at-bats. The 0-1 pitch to Hubbock taken on the outside, a slider missing. Moves the count to 1-1. 1-1. And that one's ripped down the line, a base hit past the glove of Caleb Loy. So a single for Kyle Hubbock, the second of the hit of the day for the Licking County Settlers. And now they have a man on with 2 outs. And the batter is going to be Luke Phillips. Luke Phillips, the native of Saraland, Alabama. Plays his ball at the University of Western Alabama. No stats recorded this year. Saraland, that's in Mobile County in the southwestern part of Alabama. And first pitch to him, like a check swing, low pop-up to the second baseman, Kerry Holloway, who comes under it, makes the easy can of corn grab. Out number 3, so no runs on 1 hit and 1 man left aboard. And we are in the middle of 3, still scoreless between the Scouts and the Licking County Settlers. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You are listening to the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Welcome back to Grady's Field in Xenia. We head into the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Scouts and the Settlers still locked up at 0. The batter is going to be Caleb Bloy. Bloy on the year batting a .05 with 4 RBIs. The first pitch. That one in at the knees. Ball 1. Caleb from Covenant College, a native of the state of Georgia. The 1-0. And Caleb rips that one into left field, a base hit. Rounding first, and looks like he's going to put on the brakes. But Caleb Bloy with a lead-off single, and the Scouts have a man aboard. So Caleb Bloy singles, and this is pretty funny because I mentioned earlier how John Sharp is out with a concussion. So he's been replacing everyone's walk-up music, and he just gave Kerry Holloway, who's currently the batter, a little bit of Frozen, music from Disney's Frozen as his walk-up, but Kerry swings and misses at the first pitch. So 0-1. Kerry, talk about have a day. Yesterday, 4 for 4. He's 5 for his last 5. And the runner goes. And that one's grounded right back to the pitcher. Throws over to first. In time, advances the runner. Caleb Bloy, who was on in the hit and run situation, but mark it down as a 1-3. Ground out for Kerry Holloway, and now with a man on second and 1 down, it's going to be the shortstop and 9-hitter Aaron Valance. Valance from Wayland Baptist University in the great state of Texas. One down here in the bottom of the third inning. Caleb Bloy at second. Ma looks back at the dancing Bloy. He delivers. First pitch strike. Fastball finds the outside part of the plate. 0-1 here. Valance, he got the day off yesterday. His last ball game he appeared in took an 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. The 0-1, and he bloops that one into shallow right field, a base hit, rounding third, but looks like he's going to put on the brakes again as the right fielder Vague rockets that one back. But a base hit for Aaron Valance, and now it's runners at first and third with one out and back to the top of the order with Ryan O'Hearn. And I don't know if that was necessarily the swing that Aaron Valance wanted on that at-bat. But he got just enough of it to put it over the head of the second baseman, Phillips. And the right fielder, Vague, who was playing way deep, just couldn't get there in time. So a base hit, the second of the inning, and now runners at first and third. Ryan O'Hearn to the plate. O'Hearn, his first time up, he singled. First pitch, and Ryan, a blooper into left field, and it drops, a base hit. Coming in to score, Caleb Bloy, and the Scouts on the board, taking a 1-0 lead off an RBI single from flying Ryan O'Hearn. Would you look at that, and Ryan O'Hearn stays hot. Picks up his 6th RBI of the season. And now it's going to be Adrian Marquez into the game, who looks like he's playing as a substitute for Sean Kennedy, who went down in the first inning. Big swing and a miss from Queso. Queso from Wright State University. Nothing and 1 the count. And Adrian grounds that one to the first baseman, who goes to second for 1, but all the runners safe as the throw to second not in time. Ryan O'Hearn, of course, we all know about the wheels on him. And Ryan O'Hearn just beat the throw from the pitcher. So what maybe was looking to try to set up a potential double play ends up getting no one, and now it's the bases loaded with just one out, and the batter is going to be Jeremy Barth. So mark it down as an infield single for Adrian Marquez. That's the 4th single of the inning for the Xenia Scouts, and they've already put one on the board. And now with the bases loaded against a guy who, like I said, came into this game with I believe it was a 0.0 or a 0.69 ERA through 13 innings pitched. Aaron Valance at third, Ryan O'Hearn at second, Adrian Marquez at first. One down in the bottom of the third inning. The Scouts lead by a score of 1-0. The batter, Jeremy Barth. First pitch. That one finds the upper inside part of the zone, a called strike 1. And like I said, Ma coming in with a 0.069 ERA. Had the second lowest ERA in the league, but Jeremy Barth rips that one into left field. A base hit coming home to score Ryan O'Hearn. And putting on the, not Ryan O'Hearn, coming in to score Aaron Valance, on that, but an RBI single for Jeremy Barth extends the Scout lead to 2-0. The base is still loaded with still just one out. And once again, that wasn't, and we know how Jeremy Barth can absolutely take a rip at a ball, right? He's one of the more powerful guys on this team, but that wasn't the hardest hit ball he's had all season by any measure. But it just fell in the right spot, blooped into the gap, and another run comes home. The batter now Colt Wolf, and Wolf takes upstairs ball 1. Barth single The 5th hit of the inning for the Xenia Scouts. All singles. The 1-0 pitch. That one finds the inside part of the plate. A called strike one, evens the count up. 1 ball, 1 strike. With 1 out in the bottom of the third, 2-0 Scouts the score. The bases loaded. Ryan O'Hearn at third, Adrian Marquez at second, Jeremy Barth at first. The pitcher Ma, the 1-1, he delivers, and Colt fouls that one back into the box. Moves the count to 1-2. Colt, his first time up, flew out to center field. To deep center field, really the deepest part of the park, and was caught on the warning track by the center fielder Nance. Of course, if you can just recreate that, that's a sacrifice fly and a half. The 1-2, and big swing and a miss, strike 3. So that's out number 2, the second strikeout of the day issued by Ma. And the bases loaded and 2 down, and the batter is going to be Chandler Atkins. Adkins. His first time up, flew out to center. The bases loaded. The runners will go, and that's a high fly ball, but that's going to go foul. See if it can get out of play, and yes, it will. So looks like the third baseman originally thought he had a chance at that ball, but he did not. And just a 0-1 count here. Atkins from Lipscomb University, the native of Rocky Top, Knoxville, Tennessee. Here's the 0-1. And Chandler rips that one into the glove of a diving shortstop Burns. Out number 3. So 2 runs on 5 hits and 3 men left aboard. And after 3 innings of baseball, your Scouts lead the Licking County Settlers by a score of 2-0. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You are listening to the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Welcome back to Grady's Field. We head into the 4th inning. The Scouts lead by a score of 2-0. Andrew Alix here with a special guest in the booth. We have Scouts shortstop John Sharp in the booth, and unfortunately suffered a little bit of an injury yesterday, so he's going to be out for a couple days. But the loss for the team on the field, a win for the team in the booth, as Nick Cecil misses a slider on the outside. 1-0. So, John, what exactly happened yesterday?
Yeah, there was I was on third with 1 out, and we had that play. Yeah, I think Wolf hit a fly ball on the left. I thought that the guy was going to run under it, so I was going to tag up, and little did I know I was going to give him a little short hop, so I took off for home and tried to make a slider on the tag. The ball beat me there, and all I know is I got caught pretty good at the plate. Didn't think too much of it, and later on in the game, I talked to Coach Coobs, and wasn't feeling too hot, and ended up getting a mild concussion from that, so I'll be out for a little bit. But, it's cool to be up here and experience from a different perspective for sure.
3-0 pitch from Nick Cecil finds the zone, moves the count to 3-1 here with nobody out in the top of the 4th. The batter's Joe McGuire from Jacksonville State University. That's in Mississippi, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what that is. I just know Cecil had
The 3-1 foul behind the plate. Don Ring making an effort to try to go get it, but just didn't get there in time, as that one was probably about, you saw that, John, that was about as close to the netting as you possibly could be. A kind of a tough play to call, but Don not getting there in time. But after falling behind 3-0 in this count, Nick Cecil working his way back in, makes the count go full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, with nobody out here in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, it's a hard judgment call for Donald with not knowing how far back that wall is and that screen. It can be a tough play coming in.
Here's 3-2. And that one, I don't know if that got a piece of him.
I think that might nicked him right there a little bit. It's tough putting the lead off guy on like that. So hopefully,
so a man on, nobody out, and that is, I don't know whether to call that a walk or a hit by pitch. It looks like it may have, like you said, gotten a piece of it.
I think they got the jersey,
gotten a piece of the jersey or the elbow or something. So that's the 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the 5th walk issued on the day by Cecil.
Yeah, Cecil's last outing wasn't. He's had some command issues, but he's got a firm fastball. So when he puts it in there, it gets hit like that right there.
And first pitch to Jason Moore, ripped into left field, a base hit. So nobody out, runners on first and second, and the Settlers threatening here.
Yeah, he's having trouble locating, so they're teeing off on that fastball. He's not be able to put the curveball in there, and they sit dead red like that. It's pretty easy to knock it through there.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, command being one of the issues, but Cecil, luckily, as we've seen, because if you remember that game against the Joes, he had a tough inning. I guess it was, I think I have the numbers in here somewhere because I keep all the games. But Cecil's game against the Joes, he went 3 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, walked 6, struck out 3, but he got himself into a lot more trouble than but he got himself out of it.
Yeah.
But the big problem that he faced was in constantly getting himself into trouble.
Yeah,
he threw a lot of pitches.
Yeah, it's hard to pitch in those situations like that when you're not feeling the zone. It's easy to key on that fastball and rip it, and you get yourself in those situations. The pressure bears down. But, you always want to have a higher strikeout to walk ratio, and he struggled a little bit with that. But, it's a work in progress, I guess, for him. Something you come out here in the summer, here in Xenia and want to work on. I think we got, looks like Walter out there in the pen warming up.
Yeah, Walter Rookin. Rook, a guy who has impressed a lot of people and surprised a lot of people in his first couple outings as a reliever for the Scouts. I think he has either the first or second lowest ERA on the team. But we just saw a meeting at the mound with, the infield and Nick Cecil and manager Bubba Cates. You've been in a couple of those, obviously, meetings at the mound with Cates. What are the kind of conversations that go on?
I think Bubba's kind of coming out. We got that 2-run lead. There's nobody out running first and second. I think he's, talking about a bunt situation right here, what we're going to do with the bunt and trying to calm Cecil down right now.
And just like you said there, showing bunt is the right fielder, Nick Vague, University of Memphis Tiger. His first time up, flew out to the shortstop, Aaron Valance. Runners at first and second. Nobody out here in the top of the 4th. Scouts lead 2-0.
Yeah, I think we're trying to take an out right here.
And that one's bunted down the third base line. Cecil picks it up, throws on over to first, but that bounces, scooping out of the dirt is Caleb Bloy, but safe at first is Nick Vague, and now the base is loaded and nobody out. A little bit of a precarious situation, and he talked about taking the out, but a very, very well-placed bunt there.
Yeah, when you're placing right now at third baseline like that, especially with a lefty pitchers, you got to spin around and take it. The easiest situation for that third baseman to come up, but I think Chandler's playing a little bit back, and it wasn't bunted hard enough. Usually with a righty pitching, they can just drop their throwing hand down on the next to the line right there on the bunt down third baseline. But those lefties have to spin and throw, something that we're kind of taught, with a righty up, you kind of want to push it down that first baseline to make them spin like the lefty does on the third baseline. So that was a pretty solid bunt for him. He's got to try to get out of this jam now.
Absolutely. And we saw it happen yesterday in what was a very, very impressive, probably for Trenton Wood, the guy who came in relief last night, the most impressive performance we've seen thus far on the year for him, getting us out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam like we have right now with allowing just 1 earned run. But it looks like Coach Cates is going to come out to the mound and we're going to have a call to the bullpen. So we're going to take a break here. You are listening to the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We will be right back. We are back. The pitcher, the righty Walter Rook. Walter, a 2.53 ERA through 10 and 2/3 innings pitched. He has a 2-0 record on the year. First pitch from Rook, taken up and away, ball one. The situation that we're in right now, the top of the fourth, the bases loaded with nobody out. Rook called in to try to get the Scouts out of a jam or at least limit the damage.
Yeah, Walter's a fun guy to play behind. He fills the zone up, and that's always good. It keeps everybody on your toes. You're not lulled to sleep back there. But it seems like he's kind of having a hard time finding it right now.
Rook, missing on the inside there. Falling behind in this count 2-0. The batter is Mike Flax. Flax from LaSalle. He's the designated hitter this evening. His first time up, he walked.
There you go.
And that one fouled back into the screen, moves the count to 2-1.
It looks like we're going to go for the double play here. You got Chandler back. I mean, you got a 2-run lead, so I guess you're going to be giving up 1 run for 2 outs, which is a pretty good idea here.
Absolutely. That seems to be the philosophy. The most sensible one of that, but the count 2-1. Rook, he delivers, and that one's grounded right up the middle. Aaron Valance. Oh, he could not get there for 1, and the throw to first for 2 is in time, but a run comes in, and that seemed to be off the bat a tailor-made double play, but just didn't roll I think it rolled a little bit slower than you would have liked.
Right. And what we're taught as shortstops is the hitter usually will hit himself into double play. So if it's a hard hit ground ball, that's the ones that you're looking to turn. But you have those slow ones like that. Valance had to make a quick decision whether to dump it off to second or just get the out at first. He made the right decision. I don't think we would have had him at second, but taking the out there is probably the most important thing because you don't want to come out and have nobody out to base loaded again.
Top of the order here, and Rook finds the zone of called strike. The batter, Tanner Burns from Calhoun Community College in Alabama. On the day, he's 0 for 2, a fly out and a ground out. Runners at second and third and 1 out. The Scouts with a 2-1 lead here in the top of the fourth. Walter Rook tasked to try to preserve the lead that he inherited.
Squeeze.
And a squeeze bunt attempt there. Rook is going to go to first, and that one is way over the head of Kerry Holloway, but he jumps like Michael Jordan and prevents that ball from going into the outfield. A run comes in to score, but so we're tied all tied up at 2, but you got to give a lot of props there to Kerry for getting up because that ball goes into right, and the runner at third comes home. Lose the lead at that. And at least the double play ball is still preserved here, and hopefully Rook, who none of these runs are going to be charged to him.
Right.
Obviously, both runs are going to be charged to Nick Cecil. So, and still the runner at third would also be charged to him if.
Yeah, Kerry doesn't make that play right there. They take the lead, and we can't get out of the inning, so we can get out of the inning still with the double plays. This dude coming up is pretty quick though.
First pitch is a high popper into foul territory. Chandler looks at it but watches it sail out of play. We're all tied up at 2 here in the top of the fourth with 1 down. Runners at first and third. The batter's Hunter Nance. Nance on the day, a 6-3 ground out and a strikeout swinging. The only strikeout of the day issued.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he actually hit into a double play last night, the 6-4-3. He's a big backside hitter, so there might be a bit of a shift going on.
And it was that big 6-4-3 that actually ended the threat because they had runners at first and third. It was the exact same situation. Actually, it was runners at first and third with 2 or 1 out in a tie ball game, and he did hit into the 6-4-3.
Yeah, that's what he's a quick runner, but he got a good barrel on it, so it gave us more time to turn it, and it was a pretty key situation for us.
0-2 pitch, and that one is a chopper to Kerry Holloway, who's going to go to first for 1. A run comes home to score, and an RBI ground out it looks to be, and the Licking County Settlers take a 3-2 lead here.
Yeah, in that situation with a runner on third and less than 2 outs, that's kind of what you're looking for, to put a ground ball up the middle without getting doubled up, really. You put the ground ball up the middle, you're willing to take it out to take the lead, and that's the execution that I think he's trying to look for right there.
Now, if you're the Licking County manager, are you trying to put on a hit and run there to take away that double play?
Depending on the count with 2 strikes, you're not really looking to do that because a hit and run, the hitter's told to swing pretty much in no matter what situation. So with 2 strikes, say the ball is in the dirt and you're swinging at that, you have no shot at it, but it's an automatic strike. That's usually it's a 1 strike count. Just looking to get your runners active and get some commotion out there, throw everybody off.
Robert Emery, the batter.
I think Kerry was wanting to pick right there, and Walter wasn't having it. Oh, we got 2 outs. Just got to finish this inning out right here. Minimize the damage.
Absolutely. And their starting pitcher clearly showing signs of weakness, allowing that five hit inning there. And, Rook seemingly pitching pretty well here, but, obviously it's just a tough situation to inherit.
Right.
The 1-1 pitch, check swing. Did he go? They say he did not. So count moves 2-1. Looks like just a runner at second.
Yeah, I think we got the shift on a little bit. He got Valance deep in the hole. I think they're playing this guy as a pull guy. Carey's holding him on at second, and you got Boy way off over there at first. I'm not too worried about a double down the line on that side.
2-1, and that one's fouled back over the first base dugout. Evens the count up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out here.
It looks like Ring trying to set up inside to hit to that shift we got going on, but Walt's missing his zone a little bit, so hopefully we can pound it in there and get into the shift.
2-2 count. 2 down. Rook delivers, and that one's lifted into center field. Looks like a can of corn for the center fielder, Ryan O'Hearn. Makes the grab for out number 3, but 3 runs on 2 hits and 1 man left aboard. And after 3.5 innings of play, the Scouts trail by a score of 3-2. We will bat in the bottom half of this inning in just a second. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You are listening to the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We head into the home half of the 4th. Andrew Alix here alongside Scouts shortstop John Sharp. The Scouts trailing by a score of 3-2 to lead things off here in the home half of the 4th. Don Ring, first pitch to the Donald, taken on the outside, a called strike 1. Don on the day, his first at bat, a swinging strikeout for the catcher from Hillsdale.
Yeah, the one thing about Ring, he's got that real smooth swing from the left side that it looks good out there. It helps him out a lot. He looks like he's compact with it, but you got this lefty pitcher up. So the lefty-lefty matchup's pretty much everything that a lefty hitter dreads. So it's a lot tougher for them in that sense. But usually second time through the lineup, seeing the same pitcher, you can start to hit him a little bit better.
And swing and a miss, strike 3 there for Don Ring. So his second strikeout of the day. And one down here in the bottom of the 4th, and that's going to bring up Caleb Bloy. Caleb, his first time up, he singled, came around to score the first run of the ball game. That was back in the bottom of the 3rd. The Scouts put up 2 in the bottom half of the 3rd inning, but of course the Settlers responding with 3 of their own in the top half of the 4th. First pitch to Bloy, taken on the inside, ball 1.
Yeah, one thing that's tough for Caleb is him and Colt are pretty much switching out every other game, but it seems like he's having a pretty good game this game with that another hit there.
Yeah, Bloy, he rips the 1-0 pitch into right field, a base hit, his second base hit of the day. So a guy coming in who seemingly struggling pretty hard coming into this game was batting just a $105 coming in. 2 singles to start off the day, and good to see him getting himself into a groove because, like you said, it's tough when you're just in one day, out the next, in one day, out the next. Baseball, a game of such ritual, such habit, like Chandler was talking about consistency today and how that's such a big part of it and how you want to consistently and repetition make the plays that you want to be making. And it's tough when you're just in and out. But regardless, Caleb Loy at first, and the batter's going to be Kerry Holloway. Holloway, his first time up, he grounded out back to the pitcher.
Yeah, it's good for Caleb to get a hit like that as a slump buster. Hopefully getting out of that. Kerry had the same thing yesterday, the big 4-hit game. So that was good to see from him. He's struggling a little bit, but seems like he's getting his feel more earlier in the summer. So hopefully we can keep that up.
Holloway, He awaits the 0-1. Runner goes, and the pickoff attempt late. The throw over to second will be in time. They got him. Caleb went just a little too early. They threw over to first, and he was just a sitting duck there over at second base.
Yeah, I think he's going for he's trying to steal on a first move. Caleb's usually not a quick dude, but it seems like the dude's a little bit slower to the plate. So right when he's lifting his leg, Caleb took off, and he read that he was going. So it was easy for him to just throw over and get that out.
So 2 down now, and Holloway swinging and missing at the 0-1. So that one puts him behind in the count, 0-2 here with 2 down in the bottom half of the fourth. The Scouts trail by a score of 3-2. The pitcher Ma looks to the catcher Moore. The 0-2 pitch. And that one just off the plate there. He was trying to get him to chase a little bit, looks like.
Yeah, usually a 0-2 pitcher where you have an advantage count for the pitcher. You're not trying to give a hit or anything he can really work with. So that was a pretty solid pitch on his part.
1-2. And low and away again, so evens up the count 2-2.
Looks like they're trying to beat Kerry away, so you have to go with that pitch to right.
2-2 pitch, and that one's grounded right to the second baseman, Phillips, who's going to make an easy throw over to first in time. Out number 3, so no runs on 1 hit and nobody left aboard. We have played 4 innings of baseball here at Grady's Field, and the Scouts trail by a score of 3-2. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You are listening to the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. So we head into the 5th inning, and Kyle Hubbuck to the plate to lead things off for the Licking County Settlers. The Settlers lead by a score of 3-2. Andrew Alix here, and back alone again, but what a great experience having John Sharp in on the booth. It's just not so often that you get to have that kind of inside look at the way the Scouts run things in the field. First pitch to Kyle Hubbuck, low and away. Big swing and a miss there, though. He chased that one. Walter Rook in for his second inning of work. He came and inherited a bases loaded, nobody out situation. 3 runs came home. None of those will be charged to Walter. The 0-1 pitch, grounded foul down the first base line. So ahead in the count, 0-2 is Walter Rook. But in terms of John, hopefully we'll have the chance to have him up in the booth 1 or 2 more times. But obviously wishing him a very speedy recovery. That collision over at home plate, just a tough situation. But we hope that the concussion will fade as soon as possible. The 0-2 pitch, and that one's taken upstairs. Moves the count to 1-2. One, 2. And that one just off the plate, evens the count 2-2. Hubbuck on the day. A single and a walk. 2-2 pitch. And that one's lined foul down the third base side. Staying alive at 2-2 is Kyle Hubbuck. Hubbuck, the leading RBI man for the Licking County Settlers. 11 coming into the day. Also a team high 341 batting average. Got that up with a single already. 2-2 pitch. And that one's fouled yet again. So working the count here is Kyle Hubbock. And you worry about the pitch count for Walter Rook just because the Scouts working with the limited bullpen that they work with. And when you have to try to go too deep, that's when this team can get into a little bit of trouble. 2-2 again from Walter Rook. And swing and a miss, strike three. Dropped by Don Ring. He looks back, grabs the ball. He's going to throw over to first, and that's going to be not in time. They said he was safe. And I'm going to look to see if Bubba's going to come out and argue this one. A very close play over at first, and no argument from Bubba. So safe on a dropped third strike is Kyle Hubbock. So I guess, yeah, that's tough. An unearned run. Or not charged as a base runner for Walter Rook, but a man on first, nobody out. And Luke Phillips to the plate. Phillips from West Alabama, 0 for 1 on the day. He flew out to second his second time up. He also walked. First pitch in the dirt, ball one. And a grounder. Once again, a high throw to the first baseman, Bloy. So the runner's safe, but they get the force at second. What seemed to be a tailor-made double play does not result as such. So one down and one on. And Joe McGuire to the plate. So mark down Luke Phillips is safe on a fielder's choice. McGuire on the day, 0 for 1. He walked in the fourth, though. Came around to score the first run of the ball game for these Licking County Settlers. First pitch, and that one is looped into shallow center field. They try to get the force at second, but they do not get it back in time. So now runners at first and second off a base hit from Joe McGuire. And now first and second with one out here in the top of the fifth inning. 3-2 Settlers the score. It's going to be Jason Moore to the plate. Moore from Flagler College in Florida. 1 for 2 on the day. He singled. Came around to score back in that big fourth inning for these Settlers. The Settlers with 3 runs on 4 hits. The Scouts with 2 runs on 6 hits. Rook looks back to second. Looks to Ring. The pitch, big breaking ball in there for a called strike one. Moore. For the year at Flagler, he batted .258. Just 31 at-bats, though. Struck out 7 times, walked 4, 5 RBIs, and 1 lone home run at the school in Florida that's deemed to look like Hogwarts. He grounds the 0-1 pitch foul down the third base line, so he falls behind 0-2 in this count. And the Scouts looking for a double play or something to, try to prevent the Settlers from extending this lead and preserve the pitch count of Walter Rook, one of their probably 2 or 3 best pitchers on the year so far. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and that one is laced into right center field, a base hit. Coming around second and going home is going to be Kyle Hubbock. He will be in to score safely, an RBI single from Jason Moore. It extends the lead to 4-2. So now runners on first and third. Luke Phillips coming around to score there. Joe McGuire goes first to third. Now it's going to be Nick Vague to the plate. Vague 1 for 2 on the day. Singled last inning. Ended up coming around to score. Vague, the right fielder from the University of Memphis. With 1 down In the top of the fifth, 4-2 Settlers the score. Runners at the corners. Rook. First pitch. And that one fouled hard. 0-1 the count. An error played inning. The drop third strike in. The throw over the head of Caleb Bloy, accounting for 2 of the base runners, one of which coming around to score. 0-1 the count here. With 1 down in the top of the fifth. Runners at the corners. Rook. He delivers. And that one, a sky-high fly ball into shallow left field. Adrian Marquez under it. Makes the grab. The runner will stay put at third base. Out number 2. So 2 down and 2 on, and now the number 9 hitter, Mike Flax to the plate. Flax, the designated hitter this evening. 0 for 1 on the day, a ground out to short his first time up. Actually made the first out of the 4th inning. First pitch, slider misses on the outside, throw to third to try to get the runner McGuire not in time. Good job there by Chandler Atkins preventing that ball from getting past him because that wasn't exactly the most accurate throw. 1-0 the count here with 2 down. The pitch. And that one's fouled hard out of play on the right field side. So evening the count up. 1 ball, 1 strike here. Mike Flex, the batter. From North Potomac, Maryland. He's going into his senior year at LaSalle and not much playing time to show for it this year. He batted just $167 in 42 at-bats, striking out 14 times. Runner goes, the swinging strike. Throw to second, not in time. Gets past the glove of Kerry Holloway. Coming in to score from third is going to be Joe McGuire. So looks like that was a formulated attempt, but still, the throw gets past the glove of Kerry Holloway over at second, and everyone's safe. That extends the lead to 5-2. So now 1-2 the count. 2 down. Runner at second. 5-2. Rook. The pitch. And that one's a weakly hit grounder to third base. Chandler Atkins throws over to first. In time for out number 3. So 2 runs on 2 hits and 1 man left aboard. And in the middle of the 5th, the Settlers lead the Scouts by a score of 5-2. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You are listening to the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We head into the bottom of the 5th inning. The Scouts trail the Licking County Settlers by a score of 5-2. Andrew Alix here at Grady's Field. And leading things off for the Scouts is going to be the 9-hitter Aaron Valance. Valance, his first time up. He singled, came around to score the second run of this ball game for the Scouts. The Scouts on the board first in the bottom of the third with 2, but a little technical difficulty there on my part, but so now Valance against Cody Maw. Maw out to pitch his 5th inning of work. First pitch, and that's taken out and away. Ball 1. Here's the 1-0. And that one finds the zone, evens up the count 1-1. It's going to be Valance, Ryan O'Hearn, and Adrian Marquez due up here in the home half of the 5th as Valance calls time. The Scouts with 2 runs on 6 hits. The Settlers with 5 runs on 5 hits. 3 errors in the field on the day already for the Xenia Scouts. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And Valance grounds that one. A weak grounder to the shortstop. Burns, who throws over to first. Just in time as the first baseman Hubbock scoops that one out. Out number 1. So mark it down as a 6-3 in your books. And with 1 down, it's back to the top of the order and Ryan O'Hearn. O'Hearn having himself quite a day so far. He has a couple of singles and an RBI to show for it. He drove in the first run with a couple of guys on. First pitch to Ryan, and he attacks there, but hits that one just foul. Down the right field line, and looks like Corey Coobs over at first base having some words with the umpire. Down the line. So 0-1 the count here with 1 down. First pitch to 0-1 to O'Hearn. He shows bunting. Do they say he went? The appeal says yes, he did, and Ryan does not like that at all. As you can just tell by his facial expression. So he falls behind in this count, 0-2. With 1 down. The bottom of the 5th inning, the Scouts trail by a score of 5-2. The pitch, and Ryan swinging a miss, strike 3. Out number 2. The 3rd strikeout of the day for Cody Maw. And with 2 down and nobody on here, it's going to be Adrian Marquez. Marquez, he's 1 for 1 on the day. He singled in the bottom half of the 3rd. Obviously, Marquez in playing left field. After Sean Kennedy won at bat and just fell hard coming down that first base line. A quick substitution there. So wishing the best for Sean Kennedy as he continues to have trouble with, I guess it's his back or his leg or something, but Marquez fouls another one off and he quickly falls behind in this count, 0-2. Adrian, normally the leadoff man, gotta say. He's an aggressive leadoff man at that. Led off the game with the Mariners with a bomb, but he attacks the 0-2 pitch and a high infield pop-up into foul ground. The 3rd baseman, McGuire, comes under it, makes the grab for out number 3. So no runs on no hits and nobody left aboard. We have played 5 innings and the Scouts trail by a score of 5-3. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You are listening to the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. New pitcher into the game for the Scouts. It's going to be Jacob Chrysler. Chrysler from Mount Vernon Nazarene University. But we head into the top of the 6th inning. The Scouts trail by a score of 5-2. Due up in the top half here for the Licking County Settlers is going to be the top of the order. Tanner Burns, Hunter Nance, and Robert Emery. And the shortstop Burns from Calhoun Community in to lead things off. Burns over 3 on the day. He reached on a fielder's choice, a fly out and a ground out. First pitch. And that one fouled right back into the screen. Strike 1. Chrysler, a guy who can go both ways for the Scouts this year. We've seen him play left field. We saw him come and make that substitution into the left field over the weekend when Jeremy Barth had to make an early exit from the first game in the Grand Lake Series. But that pitch is grounded sharply to the second baseman Holloway. Throws over to first for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down. As I try to explain stats, the productivity on the part of Chrysler doing a good job there. So the batter is going to be Hunter Nance. Nance over 3 on the day, a couple of groundouts and a strikeout. First pitch. That one's taken up and away, ball 1. Chrysler, 3 1/3 innings pitched. Has allowed just 1 hit, struck out 3, walked 2. A 0 ERA. And that one is hit a hard foul ball. Third base line out of play. Evens of the count, 1-1. Nance came into the game batting .268. A double, a triple, and 3 RBIs. Chrysler. He delivers. That one just missing on the outside part of the plate. Moves the count to 2-1. The Scouts trail by a score of 5-2 here, with 1 out in the top of the 6th. The 2-1 pitch. And that one's lifted into left field. Adrian Marquez moves to the left, comes under it, and makes the grab. Out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the 6th inning. And now Robert Emery to the plate. Emery. On the day, 1 for 3. He got the first hit of the game for the Licking County Settlers, a double. And then it was a ground out and a fly out since then. Emery, the left fielder from Dartmouth, 2 bombs on the year. First pitch to him, and that one is looped into right field, but Jeremy Barth, the quick read under it, makes the grab. Out number 3. So a 1-2-3 inning for Jacob Chrysler in the top of the 6th. No runs, no hits, and nobody left aboard for the Licking County Settlers. And we are in the middle of 6th. The Settlers lead the Scouts by a score of 5-2. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You are listening to the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Bottom of the 6th inning. Here we go. Andrew Alix here at Grady's Field in Xenia. The Scouts trail the Licking County Settlers by a score of 5-2. The Settlers with 5 runs on 5 hits. The Scouts with 2 runs on 6 hits. And the starting pitcher for the Settlers, Cody Maw, out to pitch his 6th inning of work. He'll face Jeremy Barth. First pitch, breaking ball in there for a called strike 1. Barth from Biola University, 1 for 2 on the day, an RBI single, and a ground out right back to the pitcher. The 0-1 pitch, a check swing. Did he go? They say yes, he did. Falls behind in this count, 0-2. Maw. Barth. Barth swinging a miss. Out number 1. So now to the plate, Colt Wolf. Colt, he's 0 for 2 on the day. The designated hitter this evening. Fly out to the deepest part of the park. And a strikeout swinging. First pitch, and he lifts that one into left field. Going back is the left fielder, and that one's going to drop, but just foul. Wow, that's a disappointing one from the angle that I'm at, but the count just goes 0-1. And it looks like Colt is adding a bat to the bat graveyard on that foul ball. We're in the 7th inning here, and of course the 7th inning. Or actually, we're in the bottom of the 6th inning. But the 7th inning will be brought to you by Snap Fitness. Snap Fitness, the official workout place of the Xenia Scouts. I'd also like to thank some of our business partners, Lee's Chicken, Roosters, Wendy's. And as Colt Wolf takes a low breaking ball to even up the count, 1-1. Got to mention that last one, big boy. And Colt Wolf, let me tell you, he's a big boy. 1-1. Slider fouled hard. Out of play on the first base line, I should say. Falling behind in the count, 1-2 is Wolf. Wolf, the Calvin College Knight. And he swings and misses. Strike 3. 2 straight strikeouts for Maw here, who looks better here in the 6th inning than he did in the first couple innings. He's retired 6 straight Xenia Scouts here, but now Chandler Atkins to the plate with 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th. Atkins, he's also 0 for 2 on the day, a couple of flyouts. First pitch. Chandler takes fastball outside part of the plate, a called strike 1. Atkins, the third baseman for Lipscomb University, you just heard from his teammate a couple innings ago, John Sharp, his teammate both as a scout and as a Lipscomb Bison. A couple of guys who just finished up their freshman year there. He awaits the 0-1. And Maw attacking the exact same spot yet again, and Atkins does not look happy. Walks out of the box, and the umpire says you have to have at least 1 foot in when you call time. And Atkins, who took his helmet off there and kind of in a state of confusion or disbelief of some sort, awaits the 0-2. And 0-2 is upstairs. Moves the count 1-2. 2 down in the bottom of the 6th. Time is called. Bottom of the 6th inning, like I said, 5-2 the score in favor of the Settlers. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Atkins back in the box. The 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, and he just gets a piece of that. The catcher there throws to first in time. Out number 3. So a 1-2-3 inning for Cody Maw in the bottom of the 6th, and no runs on no hits and nobody left aboard for the Scouts in the 6th frame. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You are listening to the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We head to the 7th inning. Andrew Alix here at Grady's Field. The Scouts trail the Licking County Settlers by a score of 5-2. Jacob Chrysler out for his second inning of work here. And to lead things off for the Settlers, it's going to be Kyle Hubbock. Hubbock on the day, he's 1 for 2. A single, a strikeout, and a walk. First pitch from Chrysler. Fastball finds the outside part of the plate. A called strike 1. The out-of-town scoreboard, top of the 6th, Cincinnati Steam 4, Hamilton Joes 3. Top 7, Ironmen 3, Lake Erie Monarchs 0. The Copperheads lead the Jazz by a score of 8-0. As Hubbock grounds that one to the second baseman, Kerry Holloway, who throws it over to first. Stretching to get it is Caleb Bloy, but he's there, out number 1. Mark it down as a 4-3 in your books. And to finish off what I was saying, the Lima Locos lead the Galleon Graders by a score of 6-0. Of course, the game 5-2 here in favor of the Settlers. But now Luke Phillips to the plate. Phillips, a walk, a ground out, fielder's choice, where he came around to score, and also a fly out to second. First pitch from Chrysler. That one grounded right back up the middle to Kerry Holloway again, who makes the scoop on the run. Throw it over to first in time, out number 2. A couple of 4-3 ground outs are out number 1 and 2. And now Joe McGuire to the plate. Joe McGuire from Jacksonville State University. McGuire, 1 for 2 on the night. A single and a ground out to first. He also walked. He scored 2 of the 5 runs here for these Licking County Settlers. And, most of the offensive production being done between the 5 and 8 spots in this Settlers lineup. First pitch, Chrysler attacks the zone yet again. 0-1 the count here. 2 down in the top of the 7th inning. The Scouts trail by a score of 5-2. The 0-1, swing and a miss there. So Chrysler getting ahead in the count yet again. And doing a very impressive job. Looks to try to get his second straight 1-2-3 inning here in relief. He delivers the 0-2. Breaking ball missing on the outside. Well, not necessarily missing, but as John Sharp mentioned, not looking to give him anything to hit when you have the advantage. The 1-2. And that one's fouled hard. Third base line out of play. Staying alive is Joe McGuire. McGuire from Jacksonville State University. In the great state of Mississippi. McGuire listed as a pitcher on the roster, though a native of Oxford, Alabama. Here's 1-2 again. And that one, fly ball to left. Under it, Adrian Marquez makes the grab. Out number 3, a second straight 1-2-3 inning for Jacob Chrysler. And we are in the middle of the 7th. No runs on no hits and nobody left aboard. The Scouts trail the Licking County Settlers by a score of 5-2. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You are listening to the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We head into the bottom half of the 7th inning. Andrew Alix here, the Scouts trailing by a score of 5-2. And love the constructive criticism. We did try to get as much of the field in the shot as possible. Of course, our camera is just a webcam hooked up to a computer in front of a window. So we're kind of limited in our options, but we're trying to do it the best we can here. But regardless, Don Ring to lead things off. First pitch to Ring, take it on the outside. A new pitcher in for the Licking County Settlers, Philip Pysko, a native of Washington, Michigan. He's going into his sophomore year at Oakland University. 1-0 count, the pitch. And a sky-high pop-up from the Donald. The second baseman, or the shortstop under it, makes the grab, out number 1. So mark that down as an F6, and the first batter Philip Pysko has faced, he is retired, but now a man who's 2 for 2 coming to the plate, and that's Caleb Bloy. Bloy, like I said, 2 for 2. He singled in the 3rd, came around to score the first run of the ball game, and he singled in the 4th, but ended up getting caught stealing as he tried to get an early jump there. He was really dead in the water on a pickoff attempt. First pitch to Bloy. Called strike, taken on the inside fastball. Pysko throws from the left side. A real change of pace here for these Scouts who are already struggling the last full time around against the right-hander, but Bloy lifts that one to center field, and that one's going to drop in for a base hit. The 3rd hit of the day for Caleb Bloy, and the Scouts have a man on with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Kerry Holloway coming to the plate. But talk about a day for Caleb Bloy, a guy who comes into this game batting a .05. You know, it's no secret to him or really anyone else that he was struggling, but talk about resilience, you know. Coming in, taking advantage of the opportunities, and already a 3 for 3 day. First pitch to Kerry. He shows bunt, but pulls back as he takes that one on the inside. And that's the first Scout on base since Caleb Bloy's last single back in the 4th inning. So Cody Maw pitched extremely effectively his last full time through the Scout order. 1-0 pitch from Pysko finds the zone. Evens the count up. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out here. Bottom of the 7th inning. Scouts trail by a score of 5-2. Here's 1-1. And Kerry takes that one low at the feet. Finds himself ahead in the count, 2-1. Holloway comes into the game 308. He's scored 7 times, an RBI, and 5 steals. Just finished up his freshman year at Andrew College in Georgia, the 2-1, and Kerry bunts it right back into the batter's box. It's going to even up the count, 2-2, and you got to assume that they're going to take the bunt off here with 2 strikes. But Kerry, a guy that I'm not uncomfortable with swinging away here. Granted, his 4 for 4 day yesterday really, elevating his game. He's a guy that had been struggling coming into that game as well. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. The runner at first takes his lead, the throw. And Kerry grounds that one up the middle, but the shortstop, Burns, picks it up, steps on the bag, throws to first. A 6-3 double play. And we have played 7, the Scouts, with no runs on 1 hit, nobody left aboard in the 7th inning. And we head into the 8th. The Scouts trail by a score of 5-2. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You are listening to the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We head into the 8th inning. The Scouts trail by a score of 5-2. Jason Moore to the plate. And I almost thought I heard our public address announcer say Jason Bourne. I'm like, Jason Bourne is batting? That's crazy. First pitch from Jacob Chrysler. Taking on the inside. Chrysler had to pitch his 3rd inning of work. His first 2. Put down the Licking County Settlers. 1-2-3. 1-2-3. 1-0 pitch, and that one's fouled. Right back into the box. Going to even up the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. The batter, Jason Moore from Flagler College. On the day, he's 2 for 3. Couple of singles. He scored a run. The native of Fort Myers, Florida. The 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. All right, should I say that was the 1-1 pitch that moves the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes? Our scoreboard was inaccurate. Here's 1-2, and that one's a slow grounder to the shortstop, Aaron Valance, who charges it, throws over to first. In time, out number 1. So 1 down here in the top of the 8th, and Nick Vague to the plate. Nick Vague, the Memphis Tiger. Nick on the day, he's 1 for 3. A single back in the 4th and a pair of flyouts. Chrysler. First pitch. And that one's a chopper to the shortstop, Aaron Valance, who gets it on the bounce. Throws to first again. In time, a couple of ground outs to short. And 2 up, 2 down here for Jacob Chrysler. And now the number 9 hitter, Michael Flax, to the plate. Jacob Chrysler 1 out away here. If he can get this guy, he will have retired everyone in the Licking County lineup. He came in the top of the 6th and faced the number 1 hitter, Tanner Burns, and without striking anyone out, has got to the point where he is now and not allowing a hit and not putting a guy on base. First pitch taken on the inside, ball 1. Chrysler, of course, going into his senior year at Mount Vernon Nazarene. Here's the 1-0. And that one's grounded to the shortstop, Aaron Valance, who picks it up, throws it over to first. In time, I sound like a broken record. 3 ground outs to short, and no runs on no hits, and nobody left aboard for the Licking County Settlers in the top of the 8th. We head into the bottom of the 8th. The Scouts trail the Settlers by a score of 5-2. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You are listening to the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. And we go into the bottom of the 8th inning. The Scouts trail the Licking County Settlers by a score of 5-2. Aaron Valance to lead things off against Philip Pysko. Pysko And for his second inning of work, Valance on the day, he's 1 for 2, a single and a ground out to short. The lefty Pysko. Here's the first pitch. Taken on the outside, ball 1. The Scouts looking to put their rally caps on here in the bottom of the 8th. And what has been a very quick game. We just started around 7:05 and under 2 hours, we're in the 8th. The 1-0 comes on the inside. Seems to almost nip Valance, but doesn't look like it got him. So he's ahead in the count 2-0 here. It's Valance and then to the top of the order with O'Hearn and Marquez. 2-0. And that one looks like it found the zone, and the fans don't like it, but probably neither does Aaron Valance. Moves the count to 2-1. Pysko looks to the catcher more. He delivers. Upstairs, ball 3. So a hitter's 3-1 count for Aaron Valance as the Scouts look to try to get someone aboard. Put the hot-hitting Ryan O'Hearn at the plate. The 3-1 pitch. And that one finds the zone, a called strike 2. And Aaron Valance was like halfway over to first base before he realized that that wasn't a ball. So the count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, with nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Scouts trail the Licking County Settlers 5-2. Pysko. He delivers. And that one's in there for a called strike 3. He got him looking. So the first strikeout of the day delivered by Philip Pysko, and that is out number 1 and out of the top of the order with Ryan O'Hearn. Well, if the inning itself is any indication of success to come, well, then this is the inning that the Scouts are going to do something. Yesterday in the 8th inning, the Scouts putting up 5 runs. First pitch to Ryan O'Hearn, taken on the outside. Ball 1. O'Hearn is 2 for 3 today with an RBI. The 1-0. Fastball finds the outside part of the plate, evens up the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. O'Hearn from Hillsdale College. It's a Division II school in Michigan. Heading into his junior year with the Chargers this fall. And Ryan takes on the outside. Moves the count to 2 balls, 1 strike. With 1 down here. Bottom of the 8th, the Scouts trail 5-2. O'Hearn. That's from the left side against the lefty Pysko, and he grounds that one up the middle, and that's going to get in there, and the speedy O'Hearn beats out the throw attempt, which was never even really made by the second baseman. An athletic backhanded stop there by the second baseman, Phillips, to prevent that ball from going into the outfield, but with flying Ryan O'Hearn's speed on the baseline, that ball really just never had a chance to beat O'Hearn. So now the Scouts with a man on and 1 out. And Adrian Marquez to the plate. Marquez, the left fielder. And by the way, that's Ryan O'Hearn's 3rd hit of the game, a 3-hit day. And Marquez bunts that one down the first base line. No one covering first. They tag him on a dive on the line. Just unfortunately, if Marquez had just been 1 half foot ahead of himself or the spot that he was, he would have been in there safe. There's no one covering the bag, but a good job there by the first baseman Hubbuck to literally get in the baseline and tag him quickly. Ryan O'Hearn advances over to second there on the bunt, and now it's going to be Jeremy Barth to the plate with a runner on second and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Barth on the day. 1 for 3, an RBI single back in the 3rd, plated the 2nd run of the day for the Scouts. Since then, he struck out swinging. Ryan O'Hearn at second. He's got speed over there. With 2 outs, pretty much you got to assume that anything into the outfield is going to score him. Barth awaits the first pitch. O'Hearn a big lead at second. He delivers. That finds the zone, a called strike 1. 5-2 Settlers in the bottom of the 8th. A runner on second and 2 down. 0-1 the count. Jeremy Barth trying to trim the advantage for the Settlers. The 0-1 pitch, and Barth fouls that one hard down the third base line. It's going to go out of play. So Jeremy here quickly falling behind in this count, 0-2. O'Hearn takes his lead. The 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball upstairs. Moves the count to 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. And Jeremy grounder to the second baseman. Phillips throws over to first in time, out number 3. So no runs on 1 hit and 1 man left aboard. We head into the 9th inning. The Scouts trail by a score of 5-2. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You are listening to the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We head into the top of the 9th inning. The Scouts trailing by a score of 5-2. Jacob Chrysler out for his 4th inning of work now. Chrysler through 3 innings has yet to allow a base runner. 9 Settlers have come to the plate and 9 have sat down. In a very impressive performance thus far, and Chrysler will be tasked with putting another 0 on the board, giving his Scouts a chance to try to make a comeback in the 9th. The first pitch is lined right into the glove of the shortstop, Aaron Valance. Out number 1. So 1 pitch, 1 out. And now it's going to be Hunter Nance to the plate. Hunter Nance has taken an 0-for-4 day. So far, a couple of groundouts, a flyout, and a strikeout. First pitch, swing and a miss, and a ball in the dirt. Chrysler looks to the catcher, Don Ring. Here comes 0-1. And that one in at the knees. Evens up the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. No strikeouts for Jacob Chrysler in the outs that he's made. 4 flyouts and 6 groundouts. He misses on the outside there, moves the count to 2-1. Here in the top of the 9th inning, the Scouts trail by a score of 5-2 with 1 out. The 2-1 pitch, and that one low. So Hunter Nance, who's hitless on the day, finds himself in a situation to at least get on base. A 3-1 hitter's count. Chrysler, he delivers. And that one's low and away, ball 4. So the first base runner surrendered by Jacob Chrysler is a walk to Hunter Nance, and now it's going to be Robert Emery to the plate with a man on and one out. Emery on the day, 1 for 4. He doubled in the top of the first inning. Since then, 2 flyouts and a ground out. Emery bats from the right side against the right-handed throwing Jacob Chrysler. First pitch strike delivered by Chrysler. Emery from Dartmouth University this year at Dartmouth, 275 in 102 at-bats. A pretty good sample size to work with. He had 5 doubles, 2 triples, and a couple of bombs with the Dartmouth Big Green. A native of San Francisco, California. Talk about a trip to get here to this Great Lakes League in southwestern Ohio. Him and Jeremy Barth, both a couple of California guys. Here's the 0-1. That one misses low, evens up the count, 1-1. Chrysler, of course, from just around the corner here in the state of Ohio. We got to give credit where credit is due. The Cleveland Cavaliers last night, speaking of the state of Ohio. What a performance by the kid from Akron, LeBron James, with 41. The first or one of 5 NBA players in history to have 40-plus points in consecutive games. The first since Shaquille O'Neal in 2000. But that's an irrelevant point to the fact that we're playing some college baseball right now. 1-1 the count with 1 out, runner at first. Jacob Chrysler. He delivers, the runner goes, and that one's grounded to the shortstop. Valance throws to first in time for out number 2, but the runner advances there. And now with a man at second. And 2 outs, it's going to be Kyle Hubbock to the plate. Hubbock from Northern Alabama. 1 for 3 on the day. A single and a walk. You might remember Hubbock in the 5th with the weird play. He was the one that reached on the drop third strike, something that you very, very rarely see, at this level of baseball. First pitch to Hubbock. Oh, they're going to intentionally walk Hubbock, and not a bad choice. You got to say Hubbock, the guy who on the year already has hit a home runs in a team leading 11 RBIs, and collegiately at Northern Alabama. He hit 12 bombs, 43 RBIs on the year. And honestly, this is probably not the guy. But basically, you're playing with the house's money here. Because with getting, any more than, with the Scouts trailing by 3 here, getting any more than 3 runs in an inning in the bottom of the 9th situation is going to be very tough. So putting the double play ball on, get the force at second, puts him in a much better situation. You're going to go up against the 0 for 4 Luke Phillips here, or the 0 for 3 Luke Phillips, I should say. So an intentional walk now, runners at first and second. Phillips, like I said, 0 for 3 with a walk. He also reached on a fielder's choice, came around to score. Phillips, I don't know how much we really actually want to face this guy, given that he has 3 bombs on the year. But they've managed to get him out so far today. First pitch to Phillips, taken on the outside, ball 1. Phillips bats from the right side against the righty Jacob Chrysler. And the 1-0 pitch in the dirt. Good block there by the catcher, Don Ring. Falling behind this count 2-0 is Jacob Chrysler. With 2 down in the top of the 9th. Chrysler has yet to allow a hit. A couple of walks, one of those being intentional, of course. Chrysler. The 2-0 pitch. And that one fouled back Moves the count to 2-1. For the Scouts, in the bottom of the ninth, it's going to be Colt Wolf, Chandler Atkins, and Don Ring. If any of them get on, it's going to be Caleb Loy, a guy who's 3 for 3. The Scouts will need 3 if they can get out of this inning unscathed to stay alive. But one thing at a time here. The 2-1 pitch. And that one's upstairs. Moves the count to 3-1. A lot of people watching, including my host family, the Makowitzes, and some grandparents there too. The 3-1 pitch, and that one's grounded a chopper to the third baseman, Chandler Atkins, who cannot make the play. All the runners going to be safe. The base is loaded. Sorry, Makowitz, this is an unideal time to call you guys out there. But regardless, hi, Makowitz, is how you guys doing? Glad you're listening. Listening to the fact that the bases are loaded with 2 outs here in the top of the ninth. The Scouts trail 5-2. The batter is going to be Joe McGuire. McGuire on the day. He's 1 for 3. And the children of the Xenia Christian Center getting a Let's Go Scouts cheer going. First pitch taken low and away, ball 1. And Jacob Chrysler having a little bit of trouble here after sailing so smoothly for the past 3 2/3 innings. The 1-0. And that one's fouled back. It's going to even up the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. We do play baseball every day here in Xenia, so we hope you tune in tomorrow at 7:05 Eastern Standard Time as the Scouts travel due east to Athens, Ohio, take on the South Ohio Copperheads. That'll be played at 7:05 Eastern. You can hear it here on the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. Here's the 1-1. And that one's grounded a chopper to the first baseman, Caleb Loy. He's going to toss it underhanded. Jacob Chrysler steps on the bag. Out number 3. So no runs on no hits. Or no runs on 1 hit. And 3 men left aboard. And we head into the bottom of the ninth. The Scouts with their last chance at it. Don't go anywhere. You never know. You are listening to the Xenia Scouts Radio Network. We head into the bottom of the ninth. Andrew Alix here. The Scouts trail by a score of 5-2. Colt Wolf to lead things off against the new pitcher, Joe McGuire. Joe McGuire, you might recognize the name because he's played this entire game at third base. But McGuire First pitch on the inside, ball one. The 1-0, even closer to Colt Wolf than the payoff was. And as he gets out of the way of what would have been a chin nipper, he's ahead in the count 2-0. Wolf awaits the 2-0, and he lifts that one sky high, but not deep. Coming in is the left fielder, Emery, or looks like the shortstop came back and got it. Makes the grab, out number one. So one down here in the bottom of the ninth, and it's going to be Chandler Atkins to the plate. Atkins, 0 for 3 on the day. Couple of flyouts and a ground out. But this is a guy that we've seen have power to all parts of the park. First pitch to Chandler Atkins comes on the inside, ball one. Atkins from Lipscomb, the RBI leader for the Scouts. Takes the 1-0 on the outside part of the plate, strike one, evens up the count. 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out here in the bottom of the ninth inning. 5-2 Settlers. And working very fast is Joe McGuire, and that one is lifted into left field. Coming under it, the left fielder Emery makes the grab, out number 2. As there's apparently a legion of small children that think screaming at the top of your lungs will make these college baseball players not catch routine fly balls. And to that I say, you might be right. So the Scouts down to their final out here. The bottom of the ninth inning, they trail 5-2. Don Ring to the plate. Ring takes upstairs, ball one. The Donalds on the day, 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts and a flyout. The 1-0. And Ring lifts that one into deep. Going back the right fielder at the track, the wall, and that one's going to bounce at the track. Don Ring rounds first and goes to second. A stand-up double for Don Ring, and the Scouts very much alive here down to their last lick. A stand-up double for Don Ring, and now it's going to be the man who, like I mentioned, if anyone gets on, the guy Caleb Bloy, who on the day is 3 for 3 at the plate. So the first hit of the day for Ring, that's the 3rd double of the year for him. And now it's going to be Covenant College's Caleb Bloy. The good old Georgia boy facing off against Joe McGuire, the pitcher from Oxford, Alabama. Don Ring takes his lead at second. The pitch. And that one's upstairs, ball one. Two outs in the bottom of the ninth, the 1-0, and Caleb Bloy swing and a miss at that one. Evens up the count, 1-1. Bloy, former USA South Freshman of the Year, in a big spot here for these Xenia Scouts. He awaits the 1-1. Here it comes. And that one finds the zone. Fastball, a called strike 2. And now the Scouts down to their final strike here. Bloy steps out. And he is ready. The count, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the ninth inning, the Scouts trail 5-2. Ring takes his lead at second. The pitcher McGuire, he delivers. And swing and a miss, strike 3. And folks, that is all she wrote here tonight. The final score, the Licking County Settlers 5, the Xenia Scouts 2. The Settlers with 5 runs on 5 hits and no errors. The Scouts with 2 runs on 8 hits and 4 errors. We hope to see you back here tomorrow night at 7:05 Eastern Standard Time as the Scouts travel to Athens, Ohio to take on their division rivals, the Southern Ohio Copperheads. For everyone here with the Xenia Scouts, I am Andrew Alix, thanking you for listening. We wish you a good night, and God bless.